Flurries today with a wind gusting to 50. Temperatures falling to -3 this afternoon. It is +2 right now. Hi, Justin.
Hello.
Yes, Justin Trudeau is in town drumming up support for his Liberal leadership bid. And, welcome to the studio. Thank you very much. Justin's in the studio. He couldn't join us on the bus this morning because he's got a very, very busy schedule.
Yeah, and besides, someone has to work here.
Oh, wow. Someone has to work. We're just riding the bus all day.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, so you're a family man. You got a wife and 2 kids. You know what it's like to have a famous dad because, of course, your dad was Stephen Baker. How do you
That's never been proven. That's never been proven. The hairbrush was inconclusive. Don't you go spreading rumors now.
So how do you manage, your family life? You have a busy, busy family life and juggle what you do. You're traveling all the time. Do they come with you?
Sometimes. Actually, the one thing that was great about my dad was he modeled what it was to be an active, present dad. And I knew that if I was going to be any good as a politician, I had to make sure that I hung on to that because that's what grounds me and that's what keeps me focused on what's really important. Because you can get distracted with the games and the sniping and the attacks and the sound bites. But if you're not focused on the reason you're doing it and on the service and on the building a better world for your kids, you get swept away. So every 5 days I'm back with my kids. When I did a big Western tour, we flew them out so they could spend some time with me. It's about balance and it's about being there as much as I possibly can.
Good for you. Now, is that why you got into politics? Is because your dad? I guess we all think that.
That's why I understood early on how important the idea of service is, how important it is to define yourself not by what you get from the world, but by what you have to offer the world, what you can contribute to society. And that's why I became a high school teacher. That's why I've done a lot of advocacy, working with Katimavik, working with various causes. And that led me into politics as a way of changing the world. But I didn't do it because of my dad. I did it very much in my own way, through my own path.
Well, you have a very good model to go by, but we're so glad that you made this choice. It's a huge sacrifice. Tell me, is Katimavik coming back? Because it went away, didn't it?
Yes. Well, it's been a bit of a political football, which is really too bad for such an extraordinary program that teaches young Canadians.
30,000 students, right?
And they learn to serve Canada and build a better country, one community at a time. It's been just extraordinary. 35 hours of volunteer work every week by hundreds of kids across the country. Thousands over the years, and the Conservatives cut it just because it had the wrong label on it of being. I mean, they cut it in the 80s when they last got a majority, and getting a majority here, they cut it as well.
Wow. Well, I hope it comes back because it's a fantastic program.
I'm planning on bringing it and a lot of other youth programs back and creating new ones.
Now, Justin,
what was it like?
Sorry.
I was just going to ask, what was it like growing up having your dad as a prime minister? I mean, it's kind of an unusual life.
Well, compared to what? I don't quite remember my previous incarnations. It was just growing up. We took the school bus to school. Right? Except the school bus was tailed by an unmarked RCMP car. We had, I had to run home to meet Dad's boss one day, and I, fell in the mud, so I had to get changed. It was all stressful, but when you meet the Queen for lunch, you have to be on your toes.
Oh, wow.
One of those guys who had to have, actually, you could meet the Queen, had to have your manners down, huh?
Well,
Justin, stop throwing food.
Yeah, no, there was an old story about my dad had an aunt who had who's always very, very spissy and prissy about her manners, and my dad caught her eating a drumstick with her fingers at one point and said, "Well, what is that?" This was years ago, and then the aunt said, "Well, the Queen does it." So years later, my dad's actually having chicken at Buckingham Palace and tells the story about his aunt to the Queen, and the Queen looks at him and goes, and that was it. That was the end of the conversation right there.
Now, Justin, I was out at Trent with you yesterday. This has been a phenomenal tour for you. How has the response been?
You know what? I've been really, really humbled and inspired by it because I believe that Canada can be governed positively. I don't think we need to be negative. I don't think we need to be all about attacks. I think we need to bring people together. And right across the country, despite the fact that we know we're really cynical about politics, people are coming out and being hopeful about it once again. And for me, it's really, really awesome to be part of. And when I'm in places like rural Alberta, where we know the Trudeau name isn't necessarily the big draw that it can be elsewhere, people are actually coming out in large numbers because they're tired of the fact that we have a government that's completely taking citizen voices for granted right now, which is ironic given that's the Reform base out west, and Reform was created as a reaction against that.
So I got a question for you. It's like, what about the idea about people saying that you're too young to be a leader at this point in your life? I mean, I don't know what the minimum age is for leadership, but
there is no minimum age. I'm already older than Joe Clark when he was Prime Minister. Next year I'll be the same age that Stephen Harper was when he became leader of the Conservative Party, or whichever party he was particularly leader of first. It's hard to keep track of all his various incarnations.
Nice
one. No, I'm genuine. I think he started being Reform, and then it was Reform Alliance, and then it was the CRAP party for a little while, and then it ended up being the Conservatives. That was a short-lived moniker. So
I don't care if we're called the eating chicken with our hands. We're behind you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much, Justin, for dropping by this morning. I know it's tough. You got a busy schedule.
Well, that was a real pleasure, and I was sorry it didn't work out that great yesterday because of traffic and conservative conspiracy over the airwaves. But I came in personally and took care of it. You know.
Right. Okay. Justin's off to Lindsay right now to hang out at Common Grounds. Have a great day, Justin. Thanks so much.
Come see me at Common Grounds.